Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG Podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this episode of the podcast, we're joined by McClaniac and Aggro from Hopalong Games as we cover this week's gaming news and other news, including some shitty news. We also have a little bit of a mini hop episode in the BRG podcast. Enjoy. Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the BRG Podcast with your host, that's me, WarpedJester, and of course, my wonderful, very white, very cold, frigid, little, wonderful person over here.
It's snowing. It's snowing outside. Hey, it's me, Kirrok, guys.
How's it going, Kirrok?
It's great. How are you doing?
I'm doing this. It's snowing over there?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Can you bring some down? It's about 70 right now.
You want some snow cones?
Yeah. Not lemon.
I knew that was going there.
Hello! Hey, anybody who didn't know we were going there, please comment down below. Hey guys, we're not here to talk about what kind of snow flavors you like. We're actually here to tell you all about gaming news, gaming topics and interesting things, also about the little random tidbits in the news world. And to help us out tonight, we have two wonderful people that you're going to very much enjoy being around, and that is the wonderful people from Hopalong. Now, we have talked about Hopalong before, and Kirrok is a part of that group, but now you get to meet McClaniac.
What's up, everybody?
Yay! And you also get to meet Aggro.
Hi, everyone.
How you guys doing?
Doing great.
It's a little cold. It's snowing, but it's good. We're good.
Yeah, you're all kind of close to each other, so I figure if it's snowing for him, it must be snowing for you. If not, then that'd be kind of interesting. Go outside like a little cloud over Kirrok's house.
I'm under the same cloud.
Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into it. We've got a lot of good, interesting news, both from the gaming realm as well as from outside the gaming realm. You know how it is, tech, media, and other things. So we're going to get into that as well as some odd news there. And tonight, on the second half of the show, we're going to have a little fun here. We have talked about Hopalong before. We told you guys to go check them out. So if you've been lazy and you haven't yet, you're in for a treat. We're actually going to have a Hopalong style QA thing coming on down the line on the second half. So
cool. Enjoy
that. So look, that without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, kiddies, let's go ahead and get into the speed bits. And to go ahead and start us off this fine evening, we've got a wonderful little topic from Tech Radar regarding Microsoft. That speculation is they may be looking into acquiring some content for their Xbox division. Basically, this is all analysts kind of hearsay. Microsoft's seeing a lot of cash. They kind of need to do something. So here's what we think is going to happen. And what they're talking about is Microsoft purchasing a big name in the gaming world to basically get a jump start on content for the new year. So some of the names that have come up here are a little interesting. So basically the three names that they kind of put out there are EA, Valve, and PUBG Corp. If you remember, PUBG Corp was something to split off from the main company as just dedicated to PUBG. So, just real quickly, Electronic Arts, big company, big chunk, big thing to swallow there, but ton of content, and of course, all of that would basically go Xbox exclusive going forward, or at least limited time, and that would give them a huge leg up against PlayStation, which has been basically murdering them on that front.
Right.
Valve. I'm not going to say PUBG. Now, PUBG, they've had a pretty tight relationship with PUBG for the Xbox, so that's plausible. It's a smaller studio. And that thing. The Valve thing, though. I don't know about that one, because I like Valve the way they are. The other thing, too, is Valve isn't hurting for money, and they're privately held, so there's no holders they have to go to appease. So, I don't know. My opinion, it's a stretch in that regard. And again, this is only hearsay. There's absolutely nothing at all officially happening at this point in time.
Hey, look how Minecraft turned out.
Right.
True.
All right. Well, in other news, Polygon is reporting that Epic Games is shutting down Paragon,
Dun, dun,
which
dun.
is only so sad. It's only so sad because there was just not enough players to keep it viable. And I mean, it launched in March 2016. And I think it kind of went down from there. They tried to resuscitate it a few times, but ultimately everyone that's playing an Epic game is playing Fortnite, and they recognize that. So all the Paragon players are getting a refund, and they're putting all those devs directly onto Fortnite, which I think is a good move. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah.
Here. I feel bad for him too because I haven't played the game, but it looks like an awesome game. And the perspective of what they were doing with it seemed like a really neat take on a MOBA style game.
Yeah, it's great. Speaking of killing it.
Moving on to a different platform, Nintendo Switch already outsold the entire Wii U run. Guys, this is huge. The Wii U was out for 5 years. The Switch has been out for exactly 10 months, or give or take a few days. We are at almost 15 million units that have sold in 10 months. That's huge. Now, the software titles are about half of what have sold on the Wii U, but we still have time. The Wii U was out for 5 years rather than this 10 months. So I am so stoked about this. Now, also mentioning, I want to give special mention to the 3DS and the newer 2DS variants. They have a total combined sale of almost 72 million in 7 years. So, I mean, the Switch has a little bit of catching up to do. But how far is it going to go? This is exciting. This is super exciting.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Less than a year-old console.
Less than a year. It's huge. It's massive. I'm stoked.
At this point, I don't care. They've already reached the goal that I said they needed to reach.
Yeah.
Just
fair.
saying. Look at the predictions episode, guys. Nailed it. Point for me.
Yeah.
And somebody didn't agree with me. Lens. Anyways, interesting news from the Facebook pulpit. Coming from The Verge, apparently Facebook wants to launch a new program to lure Twitch-style people over to do streaming on the Facebook platform. You guys all know I am not a fan of Facebook, so I think this is retarded personally. Facebook's just, it's like people trying to compare Facebook a while back to YouTube. But, well, Facebook's getting a lot more content. It's apples and oranges, to be honest with you. And not to mention the fact we just had that recent issue with them getting rights to stream the ESL sports thing.
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember. It
was getting less streams than somebody who was pirating that stream on Twitch. Just saying. That said, it is worth noting that as of recently, there were 788,000 concurrent users on Twitch, and that the tipping for streamers has gone up from 43 million in 2015 to over $100 million just last year. We're talking about tip jar, basically. People throwing money at streamers who were watching those streamers. So it is definitely a piggy bank that people want to dive into. I just don't think Facebook has even a chance in hell right now until it's majorly different. Sorry.
So you're saying if they launch on that platform, they might get some pushback?
I'm saying they might be dead.
Speaking of pushback, Ars Technica reports that Red Dead Redemption has been pushed back to October.
I am going to say it's so painful.
So before you cry about this game getting pushed back, here's the direct quote from Rockstar Games, saying, "We apologize to everyone disappointed by this delay. While we had hoped to have the game out sooner, we require a little extra time for polish. We sincerely thank you for your patience and hope that when you get to play the game, you will agree the wait will have been worth it." And one thing we know about any game that's delayed, it's usually for a good reason. I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto was quoted as saying, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." So let's wait and see what they have. Right? The man knew what he was talking about.
So PUBG testing a new anti-cheat solution that actually blocks reshade. So this is for you PUBG players on the PC. Reshade. And if you don't know what reshade is, reshade is a mod that you can load into PUBG that basically what it does is it changes the color palette of the foliage and buildings and people. They pop and they become more vibrant. It actually adds a lot of color to the game, which is really cool. And a while back, Brendan Green, creator of the PUBG, basically said it was okay. He tweeted out saying it was okay to use reshade. Some people were saying, no, it's not. It's considered a cheat. Well, now they're adding in new anti-cheat measures to the game because there's a lot of cheating going on, and that it will actually block this mod from working. So the thing that sucks is it did give people a tactical advantage compared to those who weren't using it, so people would be easier to see in the background or against the skyline or against the bush line or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so now it's unfortunate because I threw it on. I'm going to be one of the guys that I have to go in and take it out. I threw it on because I like the fact that it made the game look a lot more lively. But I get it. If it's for anti-cheat, I'm cool. I'll support it. All good.
Yep. And this coming from Kotaku, Blizzard is now monitoring YouTube for toxic Overwatch players. Fucking good. Good on them.
Yep.
You know what? There is absolutely no place in the gaming community for toxic players. And not only are they toxic in the game, but they're taking it to social media. Fuck that. I'm so glad that they're breaking down the ban hammer on this. It is huge. And we went to BlizzCon this year, and their whole, like, one of the things that they talked about during the intro was they had this really nice, like, video that they put out, which was be nice to each other. Okay, like, you know, you form relationships in these games. There is no place in this world for that kind of toxicity. So they have some community people that are some Blizzard community members that are going around, and they're actually going to start checking. They're going to start checking YouTube and Twitch and so on and so forth for that toxicity, and they're going to be banning these users. So I think that is absolutely amazing.
I think it's great. The one thing I want to say about this that was kind of funny is that when the announcement first came out, this is a great example of people who suffer from this modern age of headline readers, people who read a headline and just extrapolate from that and from there. And when the first headline first came out, it was perceived as bad, like, oh, Blizzard's gonna be monitoring, you know, social media for people and banning them, and people were like freaking out. And then you actually read into it, and Blizzard actually responded like, whoa, clarification. We just want to find people who are posting video of themselves being dicks and punish them for it, which is great because a lot of times a big portion is people cheat because they want to win the game because they're dicks, or people want to be assholes in game because they just want to be trolly, or they want to be trolly because it's fun, like put up on YouTube and get clicks. Great, go ahead. We're gonna fucking ban you, dumbasses. So good on them.
Yeah, I'm excited about that change. I think that's great, and I think it's a good move for the community in general. I'm excited about that.
I concur.
Yeah.
So would you say that those trolls need to get burned?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I absolutely would.
Because in tech news, Elon Musk, this is reported by Engadget, Elon Musk sold all 20,000 $500 Boring Company flamethrowers. That is right. Just a few days after pre-orders for the Boring Company branded flamethrower, all 20,000 have now been sold. That's just crazy to me. I have.
They're running around. Not gonna lie. It's not a real flamethrower though. It's just like.
I didn't want it any less. You could put Elon Musk's name on a lot of things and sell it though.
He made a flamethrower that was branded for his Boring Company and sold them.
Yes. And he sold 20,000 units at $500.
There's now 20,000 flamethrowers out there.
I hate to say this, but this is the hallmark sign of Elon Musk coming into issues here in terms of, like, you know, because Tesla is a great company and all, and a great concept, but it's still bleeding cash. His venture to go to space is still sucking a lot of money, and it isn't close enough to actually making a profit yet. I think this is the first sign of him flaming out, to be honest with you.
Maybe. We'll see. I still want one.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Round 2.
Stop me if you heard this. Equifax has some issues. I know! I was shocked too! Comes to find out...
Our record was, what, 5 weeks in a row?
Oh, yeah, 5 weeks in a row. So, come to find out, the Equifax, and of course an effort to help protect you and I, decided to release a mobile app that you would log into, and then you could lock your account.
What could go wrong?
Well, two things actually. One, being able to log in, and two, being able to lock your account. It's Equifax. That's it.
Oh my god. All right. So in other news, I got something tantalizing for you guys.
Oh man.
Back into space. We're talking about space. Let's go back into space. Scientists explore using astronaut poop to make space food. This is reported by Engadget. And you got to consider this. If they're planning trips to Mars, bringing enough food into space to last you the whole trip to Mars and then possibly the whole trip back, takes a lot of space, takes a lot of fuel, takes a lot of it's expensive. So poop. The article is like, but poop, why? Gross. Well, actually, the technique doesn't actually make food from the feces, but instead it uses microbes to break down the solid and liquid human waste in a process that doesn't use oxygen, which is pretty cool. It's similar to what happens inside our stomachs after we eat. Once they process the feces and the microbes and whatever, they end up with a biomass that's 52% protein and 36% fats.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Ma. Can I have some? Hey, Ma, can you give me some cheesy poops?
cheesy poops. Cheesy poops. Now double thick filling.
Ah.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and move on. We'll be right back.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back to another Game Releases with me, Kirrok, for Bottle Rocket Gaming. Guys, there's only a few today, but there's one in there that I really like. Can you guess what it is? And your first game on February 6th is Shadow of the Colossus. This is coming out exclusively for PS4, and it is an action-adventure game. Guys, I cannot tell you how long I've been looking forward to this remaster, re-release, whatever you want to call it. Everyone I've ever spoken to has said great things about this game. In fact, it is a cult classic. The original was released on PS2 back in October of 2005, and in short, it's a game where you're on a quest to destroy all these colossus or colossi, huge giant monsters, and your goal is to find their weakness and take them down. I've watched the trailer, and guys, it is breathtaking. And your next game is on February 8th. It is called Civilization 6 Rise and Fall. This is out for the PC, and it is a simulator. Actually, this is the first official expansion to the Civilization 6 series that was released initially on October of 2016. This expansion focuses more on a global scale where civilizations are judged by era scores. So when historic moments are achieved, and based on your era score, you enter into what's called a golden age where you can prosper and things go well. But if you happen not to meet these thresholds or fail to meet these thresholds and your era score is not where it should be, you enter into what's called the dark age. I mean, if you love the Civ series, then getting this expansion is a must for your library. Oh, and did I mention there are nukes? And your next game on February 8th is Attack of the Earthlings. This is for PC only, and it is a turn-based strategy game. In this game, you get to fend off an invading alien force. Earthlings. That's right, you're an alien race and humans are invading your planet, and it is time to eradicate them. It's got a cool strategic element to it. You get to eat human flesh to give your creatures abilities. Kind of gross, actually. If you like turn-based games with a twist, then you'll probably have a lot of fun with this game, guys. And your last game is on February 9th. It is Dragon Quest Builders for the Nintendo Switch. It is a sandbox / role-playing game. This game has already been released for the PS4, PS3, and even the PS Vita, and now it's making its way to the Nintendo Switch. It is a sandbox / role-playing game that resembles the blocky universe of Minecraft, but it's set in the original Dragon Quest video game universe. It has a quirky, cartoony vibe to it and is totally kid-safe. If you have little brats like that rolling around and you need them to be distracted, then be assured this is the game for the job. And that's it, guys. So we've come to the end of another Game Releases. In case you didn't guess it, my pick was Shadow of the Colossus. That's right. Guys, I can't wait for that game to come out. I never got to play it, and now I finally get to play it properly. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. All right, guys. So tonight's a little bit different. Instead of going through with a main topic, although we have it as main topic, we're going to be doing a sample, a snippet of what Hop is all about.
Sneak preview.
Yeah, Hop Along Games. So what we're going to be doing is I got the bucket, and I'm going to be reaching into the bucket. I don't know if you can see. There's a bunch of topics in there. I'm going to be reaching into the bucket. What?
I could almost read one.
And each of us, so Agro, Warped, McClaniac, myself, will talk about that topic and, go and see what we think about it and what we experience with that. So let's see. I'm mixing.
Make it a good one.
Here we go. Aha. Okay. So I'm going to read it out. Aha.
Yes.
Aha!
Which local multiplayer game holds a special place in your heart?
Ooh, I got
Before
mine.
we
I know mine.
start, I just want to mention how weird it is that we're not all sitting together.
Oh, yes.
It's a little strange. So it's just taking me a little bit of getting used to. That's all.
You guys are welcome to come over anytime.
I'm in. You have nicer weather.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So specifically, local multiplayer game that has a special place in your heart. Who wants to go first? I know mine. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I do too. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to do mine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
So.
No, you go first. No, you go first. No.
We're a very polite bunch, okay?
You're Canadian.
So
I get it.
The multiplayer local. This game was originally on the original Xbox.
Okay.
That's 3 originals. And it is called Conflict Desert Storm. So I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys know the game. It was actually out on GameCube as well. It was actually, I think it was out on PS2. But Conflict Desert Storm is basically a multiplayer game. You can play it single player, but where it shines is multiplayer, and you have to play it local. It's not online. And what it does the 4-way split across the screen, and each person playing gets that quadrant, and they go ahead and they play their part. And each person that plays has a role. So one guy's your heavy artillery, one's your assault, one's your sniper, things like that, right? And so you're pitted up against, or the whole story takes place going through Desert Storm and the different phases of Desert Storm. But where the game shined was actually all the guys working together, or the girls, whoever, in the same room and playing. How do I put this? The graphics weren't great. They weren't fantastic. No, they weren't, but they weren't bad like a PlayStation 1.
Are you talking about in relation to now, or are you talking about back then?
Well, compared to now, they're not, like, graphics are amazing nowadays, right? But realistically, like, the graphics weren't the best, but for what they were, they did the job. And you would have different missions like taking a certain base, or that base might have tanks, and you have to take out the tanks first, then take out the people in the base. And I recall back in the early days when we first played this game, we would make it a point to get together on a weekend and play, me and 2 friends of mine. And we would play this thing well into the wee hours of the morning. We played it on the hardest difficulty setting. And what would happen was we had a little board, a little marker board. And in between each time our team would get wiped, we'd replan. We'd draw the whole diagram of the base. We'd go, okay, you're going to go over here. You got the bazooka, so you're going to go to this tank when it comes out here. And then you got to run over and pick up the other bazooka and shoot that other tank as it comes out over here. It was fantastic. It was so good that I'm talking years later, we rented one of those tents in those yogi camps.
Okay.
Years later, there's like a yogi-themed campground.
Sure.
And we rented a tent that had power, and we went up there for a few days, brought a big projector, the Xbox screen, threw it up, and replayed the whole game again. It was fantastic.
That's great.
Such an awesome time. Yeah, man. So good. One of my favorite multiplayer games. They did come out with Desert Storm 2, which was decent. Then they also came out with Conflict Vietnam, which wasn't that good at all. So we didn't play that. It was
And none of
No,
us have heard of any of them.
No, I
You
haven't.
guys have never.
Never.
Let me ask you.
I don't do
me ask
consoles,
you.
so I'm kind of on the wrong side of this.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
I pulled it up, but is
Yeah.
this? What was the question? And not that I'm saying that you have a wrong answer, but what was the question?
No. So the question was local multiplayer game that holds a special place in your heart.
Okay, fine. So local multiplayer game, I buy that. But could you connect multiple Xboxes and play on LAN party, right?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're saying. I don't recall, to be totally honest. I can't
that's
remember because when we did it, we had one Xbox, one TV, and we played it all on one television. So it might have been.
Aggro was your favorite multiplayer local on multiple Xboxes?
So my answer was it was not on Xboxes. It was a PC game, but it was definitely played over. It was a LAN game. It was on a local network, and it was a bunch of us in. So this is in high school. I'm gonna set the stage a little bit here.
Okay.
I took my very, very first programming class in high school, and I learned absolutely nothing because half of the class, first of all, it was Visual Basic, and nobody learns Visual Basic because it sucks. So it was me and a bunch of I think I was the only girl in the class, so it was me and 25 dudes in this class, and they were a higher level because I took it a little bit earlier. And we played Quake, and that was one of my. That was one of my.
Yeah.
It was a local LAN game, and this is again this is at a time where the internet. You reached out. You go to the computers in the library so that you can get an internet connection to go onto Neopets, okay, which I still have access to, and my account is 17 years old, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Myself a little bit. I know it's crazy, but I'm also having some chair difficulties here. I keep moving around. So it's just this floor is uneven, so it keeps moving as.
So you guys are playing Quake 1.
Quake 1. This is the original fucking Quake that we would sit in there, and we're all cheating because we're in rows looking forward so you can see where everybody else is. And we actually got our teacher. I wish I could remember his name. I can't remember his name, but we got our teacher into it too. And we just the second half of the semester was just a Quake LAN party for 1 hour a day for the entire semester. It was so much fun. It was one of my fondest moments of LAN parties was at school, in high school, playing Quake 1 with all of my classmates.
That's pretty cool.
That's
it was
great.
fun. It was fun.
I
It was
like
really,
it.
really good. Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if you guys remember the game Unreal, the very first.
Yeah.
I have those kind of fun memories with that game, which is pretty
So
cool.
it's funny you bring that up. Since you bring it up, I'm actually gonna cut in here.
Go for it.
Because I appreciate Quake. I really do. It is a lovely game. But the fact of the matter is you guys understand, for all you youngins out there, for all your millennials, you basically had three factions when it came to who played what in the first person Twitch shooters, and you had the Quakers, you had the Doom people, and you had the Unreal people, and that was
Wolfenstein.
huh?
Wolfenstein.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
My Leben.
I mean, nothing personal here, but come on, really? Okay, sure. Yeah, the Wolfenstein was there technically-ish.
It was an option. It was an option.
Nah, it was all about Unreal. Unreal was fan-fucking-tastic. It was these are, I classify them as Twitch shooters. They're first-person shooters.
You're talking about the first one?
For them, the first Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, okay, Unreal Tournament.
Unreal
Gotcha.
Tournament, fantastic fun game. All me and my friends had this. It was great too because this is actually right around the cusp of when I got into computers. My history was I worked on cars. I had friends in IT, and so I had a work exchange program. I'd work on the cars, do oil changes, etc., and then they'd give me time on the computer. And I knew enough to press the power button and then click on the icon of the game I wanted to play. I was playing like Diablo 2 at the time or something like that. Diablo 1.
Nice.
This is like circa 98. And then we discovered this game, and one thing led to another. Long story short, there's a lot more to be done playing the game than there is to get done on a car. And so I ended up being on the computers a lot more than they wanted. And one day a guy walked out and dropped literally a cardboard box full of parts and said, "Here's your computer put together." And so put it all together, get my computer set up. I had this fucking kick-ass. I've shown people in the past this before, but I'm gonna show it again. my absolutely ultra cool. This is my Intel Celeron 450 megahertz processor. At the time, it had 16 megs of RAM.
Wow.
I've upgraded to 32 megs of RAM, and I had a 40 gig hard drive, which was fucking mondo. And I had a Voodoo 3 video card.
I remember those.
So many memories.
Yeah.
So many memories.
And a 17-inch CRT monitor that was yellow doll hell and back. And we got set up, and we all got Unreal Tournament, and we started playing in the house. And never was there a more surly bunch of swearing and pissing and moaning and calling hacks on everybody than ever was. The best thing about this goddamn game was, all the weapons had primary, secondary fire. It had a lot of fun maps by default. But the real selling point to this was that it was completely open platform. People could mod the shit out of it. You could download custom skins for your players, custom maps, custom weapons, everything. And they had one particular map that was fucking epic. It was a cockroach map, and they made a bunch of them. Like, you're all running around in the bathroom, and you are the size of a cockroach.
I remember the bathroom.
You had, like, the toilet paper be rolling down, and you jump on the edge of it, and it would roll up, so you can get onto the toilet. You can swim into the toilet and get the nuke. You had a nuke you could fly around. It was so much fucking fun, and we had an absolute blast. And at some point, one of the people we were hanging out with, he got into actually creating map levels, and he created this beautiful map that was a bunch of discs in space, and he had low grav on, so he was like, you can do the kind of moon jumping kind of thing.
Nice.
And of course, we put it out there so people could play with us online from the servers, but we're all playing in the same room. And so anybody who would join us, we have 6 people all on one team. We just no. This is back in the days of DSL. We had the hoopty 1.5 meg down internet connection, and we would just fucking annihilate people.
Yeah,
it was
Amazing.
so fun. But I played that. I played Unreal 3. I tried to follow them up. I haven't played the most recent one very much at all, but I loved them, and they were so good, and the graphics were so on edge, and the Unreal Engine was epic back then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my history for local play. It was, I loved it. Quake. I'm sorry, whatever.
Dude, you know what? Quake was you just don't understand it. That's all.
That must be it.
Fired back, yeah.
You just don't understand me.
No, listen. You have high school, and then you have the jocks, and you have the nerds. And some of the jocks played Quake, and the nerds played Unreal Tournament.
And no one played Operation Desert Storm. Except Kirok and his buddies. At least I know what the other games are. I can get on board. I did play those games. They're not my choices, but I did play them. So for my choice, if I may, I think mine is probably the oldest one on today's list. This goes back to the Super Nintendo days. And this is... Originally, I thought this question for sure meant that it was like split screen. I know we got into some like LAN style games, and I guess that is technically local co-op. I was immediately thinking split screen though, and I think that's just where my head was at. So the one that I was thinking of is Super Bomberman. And Super Bomberman it was a really good game. I wouldn't say it's the best game. I would never but what made it so special at the time is, we all know the Super Nintendo only had 2 controller ports, but from your local loyal Jumbo Video or maybe Microplay, we keep name calling them. Like at some point they're going to sponsor us if they still exist. But you could buy or rent a multi-tap, and that gave you 4 controller ports. And at the time, it was a magical thing to get 4 people sitting in front of a Super Nintendo playing a game. And the nice thing about actually Bomberman is it wasn't split screen. You could actually all play. The entire map is on screen at all times, so you're all actually on one screen.
Right, okay.
So kids,
we had some...
This was like Smash Brothers before Smash Brothers was Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Totally. Honestly, and I was always kind of sad that every Bomberman game that came out after that never really even came close to touching on the magic they had with that original game. It was just so... We were crazy competitive. We would set up all kinds of crazy bets based on who would win, and it got real heated. I know it was me, my younger brother, and like we would try to balance it out so it was like one of his friends and one of my friends, so we knew the team ups wouldn't be too one-sided. We had so much fun with that game, though. I'd play it again, but I don't even know where you would acquire a multi-tap at this point.
eBay.
So, yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's pretty
Special
much it,
special place in my heart. I was actually sad when they released the NAS Classic because, there's no hope for a multi-tap for that. There really should be. Come on.
I remember
Bring
that
it
game.
back.
I remember that game. That's
You
awesome.
played it too? Okay. Anyone else? No? Super
No,
Bomberman?
I never played
didn't
any
play
of
it.
the Bomberman.
Did you have a childhood at all?
No, she's too busy playing Quake
Yeah.
or Desert,
Quake
Desert
was
whatever.
more teenager and later. My childhood is actually sitting in the living room in terms of the consoles, but
Oh,
True.
shots
It's true.
fired.
Yeah. Well, I could say
my
with
first
Quake and
console-
Unreal.
Sorry,
Sorry.
ahead.
Go, no, you go.
No.
You go.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say
I'm
my
sorry.
first console was the 3DO, but that's
3DO. Damn.
You
dude,
made
Road
the
Rash on
wrong
3DO
choice.
Road
was
Rash.
amazing.
Trucks
Road
and
Rash
Derby.
with like a Soundgarden track on, a couple Soundgarden tracks. Like that was the first game I ever played that had real music as a soundtrack. not
It's so
a
hard to say
score.
because it was actually an advanced console. It's just
it was, yeah,
it was a fail.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a big fail. Anyways,
like the Wii
sorry.
U.
Anyways,
Go ahead, McClaniac. You were saying.
I think I might forget now. I'll throw
we
this
got
up.
we got time for one more question, right?
One more? Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask. Do we have time
let's
for
do it.
one more?
Bring up the
Sure, let's do
barf.
one more.
The bar.
Bring out that someone makes squishy sounds.
Bring out Dad.
It's full of astronaut poop.
Hold on. No, I'm. God. Okay.
Just one, all right?
Just one. Most memorable video game music.
Ooh.
Most memorable video game music.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
I have to think.
I got it.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Clearly.
Get it over with. Because I'm gonna forget in 2
Yeah.
seconds what it was. So this game, it's Ocarina of Time. That game
That's a
had
good one.
the best soundtrack of life. So this is again, and I'm again dating myself, but whatever, who cares at this point. I was, I guess, in high school-ish when that game came out. Yeah, high school. And that was the days of fucking Napster. So to get a copy of the soundtrack, I had to go on and I was laughing, Warp, when you were mentioning your 450 gigabyte hard drive or whatever. I had Napster on a 1.19 gigabyte hard drive,
Ooh.
having to move data around so that I can fit these songs that I'm downloading on Napster. Anyway, so I finally managed to find the soundtrack, and it was blips and pieces, like here and there. Some of them were in like, 2 parts sort of thing, but I downloaded the entire soundtrack, and I listened to that, especially when I was doing homework. It's so like orchestral, and then it's just so nice with all, the whole soundtrack is just so beautiful. It was great. And that was my favorite of all time.
Nice.
I concur.
That's a good one. Yeah, and you're rocking the Zelda shirt.
Yeah, I'm representing today.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's got a great theme.
Yeah.
Who's going next?
Oh, I don't know. I still haven't thought.
Okay,
Okay.
can I jump in?
Go for it.
Yeah. Go for
Can
it.
I jump in? Okay. I'm gonna say this, like, I have a background in music, so music's always got a very special place in my heart, and I always notice music in games. And the sad thing is, music never really gets as much attention as graphics. Like when you're reading reviews, they always talk about the graphics. Like the
You're
sound
right.
sometimes will not get mentioned at all, like sound design, but also the theme and whatnot, unless it really stands out. And it's going to stand out either because it's really polarizing, like it doesn't fit, or maybe it does in a weird way, and that makes it stand out, but it doesn't often get a lot of attention. So my choice is it's classic. I can't think of anyone that says they're a gamer that does not know this theme. Tetris.
Oh my God.
The
Oh
Tetris
my
theme
God.
is
That's a good one.
legendary. It's
Yeah.
legendary. I actually don't know who
Yeah.
the composer is. I really should, but like, you could, if you hear that anywhere, you know immediately what it is. And almost every Tetris game, and let's face it, at this point, there are so many. There are so many Tetris games.
And
they
so
always
many
have some
songs
kind
from
of
Tetris.
Yeah, well, and that one theme though always makes its way into every remake in some kind of like newly remade way, where they either recompose it or they drop like a drum and bass track underneath it or something. Like they're always trying to redo it.
So I agree with you absolutely, and I say this because the humor of it is, any advanced race or any other alien race, if they ever want to understand what we have in the way of genres for music, all you have to do is look up Tetris anything, because you will find Tetris techno, Tetris bluegrass, Tetris country, Tetris rock. It exists in every single format we have. I'm pretty sure you can get Tetris, folk Indian music. I swear to God, it is the hallmark.
Yep. Googling.
Yeah.
Currently Googling.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the background for us to listen to.
Yeah.
I
challenge any of the viewers right now to not be humming it in your head while you're listening to us talk about it. Like, I challenge you. Think of something else right now.
I'm trying not to dance to it, to be honest.
Classic. I couldn't have been more happy to have landed on that in my head when you were reading it. I was like, oh my God, yes.
There are some things that just kind of it's funny because you as soon as you had a question, I see you guys do this on the show. You kind of like, and you'll see that quick like, it right in there. It just, people hear it and they go, oh yeah, and it's great. And for me personally, what it was for me was EverQuest 1, the load screen.
Ooh.
Okay.
I hear it in my head right now, and it makes me giddy. It makes me absolutely giddy. It's 2001. I'm working for Friend Finder. I told you guys about Friend Finder, and me and Cosmic, my roommate, we're like hardcore D2 people. We love Diablo 2. We are like ripping it apart, having fun. And my boss is like, "Oh, you gotta play EverQuest." I'm like, "Okay." He explained it to me. I'm like, "Okay." And you pay for the game, and then you fucking pay for it monthly? You're a fucking sucker. You're an idiot. And one thing led to another, and I finally got sucked into it, and okay, fine, I'll buy it. And I had to buy it, which came with the original game, and there was an expansion called Kunark, and they had just come out with this new expansion called Velia. So I had to buy these two games. Took my computer, that ugly ass yellowed monitor I painted blue, the case was blue and black, hauled it over to my friend's house, set up on the desk next to him, got everything installed, and it came up, and this beautiful screen of EverQuest with the icon chick on it, and this music starts. It's just like, and ever since then, because I spent so much time in this game from 2001 on. I spent years playing this game. It's just you get home, you run over, you launch the game to get it started, get logged in while you're trying to get your shit off and get your Mountain Dew, because we didn't have energy drinks back then, and you hear that music start, you're like, oh God. I get so excited.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't even know what that theme is, but I can absolutely relate with the feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
And actually, you even mentioned you said D2, and I'm thinking of Diablo and those acoustic strums, and like the way that would make me feel like, oh my God, I'm so full of like nostalgia just thinking about it. So I can fully relate.
It's so great. But yeah, for me, it was the EverQuest 2 specifically. I mean, all the music in there, if I hear any of it, I get gay. But this, because it was that. The game is starting.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because so I can't think for the life of me of an old game that I know the music and that I remember it fondly, but Myst, the game Myst by Cyan, and this is not even the music in the game. This is the starting when it boots up and they bring up the Cyan logo and you hear dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 and then
I remember that
the letter C go around, and it makes this like whoa sound. Just that alone, I can relate completely, because it's just the very start, and I'm like, wow, that's so good. And even now, years later, when I fire up their new game on VR, Abduction, it has the exact same thing in it, and I'm like, oh man, that is so good to hear again.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're saying. As far as just in a game music wise, what is fresh in my mind is, because I just finished streaming this game. It's called Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Mm-hmm.
That game, I just finished it. I played like 6 hours worth. That game has some of the best music I've heard in a long time. And when I say music, it's like orchestral scores in it, like almost like opera singing, but not. I don't know how to say it, tenor, whatever. Like it's really, it just really moves you. Like, and it fits so good because the subject is pretty dreary, and the subject is about death, and you know, there are certain events that happen through the game. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. The game's been out for a couple of years that occur, and then they really back it up and support that massive bad or good thing that's happened in the game with this rush of music, and it just floods everything else out. It's so amazing. It's really good. Like they did a great job. They like, you're right, McClaniac. A lot of games don't get credit for the music, and several times during my stream, I said, this music is unbelievable. I also said the graphics were, but it was enough to make it was enough to make me point it out. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, and kind of brings it together. I'm glad that the McClaniac brought it up, because music really didn't get a lot of love for a long time. And my theory behind this is quite frankly, it's for a long time, you know, graphics were steadily growing, and they were that was the push. It was a visual thing. Games are a visual thing, so they had a very steady push improving the graphics. But music were always afterthought. I'm running on a Commodore. I've built everything I need for the code, for the sprites. Okay, I've got this K left of room.
For music, yeah.
What can I fit in there? I can fit, you know, these 4 notes basically.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It didn't get much love. And unlike graphics, where there's very steady pace, music was, yes, there was constant improvement in audio capacity in games, but it kind of went to this point where it was just, we went from 8-bit to we can do full wave music, full wave sound, and at that point that was it.
Yeah.
And, and just you go right into it. And music, when it's done right, like McClay was saying, when it is done right, Diablo 2 is a great example. You don't even realize it. You get into a freaking dungeon you haven't been into, and that music starts up, and you don't. It's not even registering in your head yet that there's music there. But your skin is starting to crawl. You're getting edgy, and that music is building up on you. It fills in that void and adds that extra element that just absorbs you into the game. So it may not get the love it needs, but it definitely has to be there. So. Anyways, I am so excited, guys.
That's
fan-fucking-tastic. Hey, boys and girls, if you like this type of format, if you have a chance to just kind of talk about random questions and where we come from or what our interpretations, whatever, as I've said before, Hop Along is the place you want to go to check this stuff out. They're over on YouTube, and we'll talk about that more in a minute here, but definitely want to check them out. This is exactly what they do, and it is fun as hell to watch. Why they're not doing this live on Twitch, I don't know.
It's happening
soon.
It's happening.
It's coming.
But again,
it's happening.
We will get to that in just a minute here. Matter of fact, we gotta go ahead and get this wrapped up. So let's go ahead and jump over to the wrap up. All right, guys, it is time for us once again to wrap things up and head on home and get some sleep for some of us, and to get the other things for others. So hey guys, I really want to say a big sorry, it's a joke. I really want to say a big thank you to the cast and crew of Hop Along Games for joining us thank you guys so much for coming on with. It was an absolute blast, and I love watching you guys' show. It's really, really entertaining. I'm looking forward to doing or seeing it happen live, from what I understand here. But let's before we get to Hop Along here, just real quickly. Again, you guys know Kirrok, for better or for worse, but the other piece of the puzzle is Aggro and McClaniac. So Aggro, what are you doing right now?
So right now I'm trying to, I had a little bit of a stint where I wasn't playing very much, so I'm trying to get my groove back. So I'm streaming a little bit on Twitch. It's Aggro, so please check it out. I will at some point, I promise, post this, but I also played Myst for the very first time, which is really exciting. And I recorded that, and I will be posting it at some point. I promise it'll be sooner rather than later. So awesome. I'm super excited about that, and I hope you guys can join me at some point.
Sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, the other third of this puzzle is McClaniac, who of course is avidly gaming every single night, just for the benefit of being knowledgeable for you guys.
That's right. I'm doing my research. I'm doing my homework. So what's coming up for me? More of that. I am in the process of building a new beast of a computer, so I'm planning on creating more YouTube channels. That's McClaniac on YouTube, and I'm going to be what?
I was going to ask, are you mining?
Am I mining?
May as well with
kidding.
the prices of GPUs.
I'm gonna mine for Bitcoin live on my channel. No.
That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Watch as I never make any money. Maybe eventually. But also with Hop Along Games, I'm excited. We're going to be creating all kinds of new videos coming out following our discussion format. And we are going to be live in person at EGLX in Toronto, which is like a live kind of gamer fan convention. So we're going to be live in person, hanging out and chatting with people and promoting the channel. So it should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I like it already. And of course, people, again, the final third of that whole thing is good old Kirrok. And Kirrok, my friend, you are just never not busy, are you?
I got a lot on my plate, and I love it.
I was going to say, you have Hop Along Games, which is only these two. And then you've got your YouTube channel, which, granted, to be fair, your YouTube channel is just basically an archiving point
at this point.
All the wonderful content you're doing over on your Twitch channel, because
that's right.
Twitch is the new YouTube now. It's the new hot thing. All the kids are doing it. We're not doing it for our podcast, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways,
sometime, you never know. It might happen.
Not true that.
For Hop, it's gonna be happening.
You guys have a great format that is just perfect for that, because you guys can add from the bucket a digital bucket for people to dump questions into.
Oh, in the chat, yeah.
So that works out very well. And of course, you do have Project Singularity, wonderful people over there, and a bunch of those members also happen to have both YouTube and Twitch channels. So I definitely encourage you guys to make sure you stop by and say hi to them and check out some of their channels as well, because we do love all of them very much, and we do love everybody over at the wonderful Bottle Rocket gaming community, because I'm one of those people there. And I myself, I've actually gotten unhealthily back into EverQuest 2. But that said, it's not really scratching the itch I personally have for playing an MMO. So I may very well actually blow the dust off of my P99 server account, which is a private server of the original EverQuest. It's actually the first three things that I'd gotten into originally, and start playing the old school again. So who knows? I may get back into that. I might put some more videos up like this. I did a couple of them way back in the day. So we'll see how that goes. But guys, if you are interested in the wonderful stuff that we do here in the Bottle Rocket Gaming community, I definitely encourage you guys to come over and check us out. We do have BottleRockGaming.com, which is more kind of a holding site nowadays. We don't use it too much other than for events. But we do have a Discord channel. Again, links will be down in the show notes below. I definitely encourage you to hop over there and say howdy, because we do love talking to people. And of course, content-wise, we have a lot of content. Not only does the majority of the people in our community have content of some nature or another, we ourselves, as the Bottle Rocket Gaming community, officially have a YouTube channel. Oh, look, here you are! Hey! While you're here looking around, please feel free to say hi, hit the like button, do the whole, hit sub on the little button up there. You just right over some there, I think. You know where it's at. Hit it if you haven't hit it already. That'll keep you informed when we have more content coming out. We do have more content because we have this show. We have the Inside the Game is Mine, which will have a new one coming up pretty soon here, actually. And we have other stuff coming up. Matter of fact, we have a new show that's going to be starting on our Twitch channel, which is going to be a once-a-month roundtable show. We'll have a bunch of people pulled in from other shows and other avenues to sit down with us and basically take a topic and chew the crap out of it and spit it out when we're done with it. And we encourage people to join us, because it's going to be a roundtable with me and Component Z and guests and the chat room all conversating together about it. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. And again, links will be down in the show notes, or just look at Bottle Rocket Gaming anywhere you go. It's us. You found us. Yeah. Sub, follow, do whatever it is you do, and we'll be happy. And if you want to take the easy route and just pitch a few dollars away to help us out, we really do appreciate that. We do have a Patreon account you can go to. Again, the Patreon with the Bob Rocket Gaming on the end of it thing. There we are again. Hey, shocker. Check it out. Pitch in a few dollars. Give us a buck. We'll say thank you very much. We appreciate it. But there are other tiers there you can also pitch in for as well. So, again, thank you so much, guys. And, again, hop along, peoples. Thank you so much. I absolutely love the show. Looking forward to new stuff coming out. And we'll make sure to start piling people your direction as much as we possibly can in the community here as well. So,
Awesome. Thank you for having us. Yeah, it's been awesome.
It's been an absolute blast, and the outtakes are going to be very, very entertaining.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Kitty!